The movie revolves around its protagonists, Steve Trevor, and a team of superheroes called the Justice Society. The team consists of Rex Tyler, also known as Aquaman, Dinah Lance, also known as Black Canary, Diana, also known as Wonder Woman, Carter Hall, also known as Hawkman, and Jay Garrick, also known as Flash. The storyline is about how Wonder Woman leads the Justice Society of America to stop Hitler's pursuit of magical artifacts that could give the Nazis an edge in World War II. Meanwhile, in a different universe, Barry Allen, also known as the Flash, due to some scenarios is teleported into the Nazi timeline and unexpectedly joins the Justice Society of America. While the group tries to stop the war, Flash helps them in their efforts, but he is also trying to find a way back home. The movie begins at the dawn of World War II, when Nazi Germany had invaded most of Europe and Russia under the rule of Adolf Hitler. Moreover, he had also been seeking magical artifacts. Meanwhile, US President Franklin Roosevelt comprehended Nazi Germany's threat that is becoming unconquerable, and formed a team of superheroes called the Justice Society of America. The team consists of Black Canary, Hawkman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Jay Garrick, and will be led by Wonder Woman. The plot shifts to the present, where Barry Allen takes his longtime girlfriend, Iris West, on a picnic in Metropolis, hoping to get away from his superheroic work. However, during the picnic, Barry Allen is somehow distracted, which infuriates Iris West, and though she understands his duties as a hero, she seems confused about their relationship status. Unfortunately, their plans are disrupted by the Brainiac attack on Metropolis. Barry, who overhears the commotion, runs to Superman's aid as the Flash, and during the fight, Brainiac fires a kryptonite bullet towards Superman. Barry tries to catch the bullet, but as he runs fast enough, an unforeseen speed force seemingly leads him back in time, and guided by Dr. Fate's voice, Barry ends up in France. In a small town in France, Wonder Woman fights off the Nazi soldiers who are invading the town and hurting the civilians. Concurrently, Barry teleports to the location. Upon discovering Barry, Wonder Woman interrogates him about his identity and leaves him with Black Canary. However, when Barry overhears a commotion between civilians and a Nazi soldier, he runs and fights off the soldiers, whereby he acknowledges the decline in his power. In the meantime, a Nazi soldier flying through the sky attacks the Justice Society, but fortunately, Steve, who is flying his fighter aircraft, reaches the scene at the right time and fights off the soldier. However, the situation takes a drastic turn when the soldier shoots down Steve's aircraft, leading him to lose control over his aircraft. Fortunately, he is saved by Barry and Jay, who, without wasting any time, run into action. Despite initial confusion over his allegiance, the Justice Society of America realizes that Barry is an ally after he defeats the Nazis and saves Steve, and that he is seemingly from the future. Meanwhile, Barry believes that he has been teleported back in the past during a battle between the Justice Society of America and the Nazis. Once out of the aircraft, Steve informs the team about a division of Nazi soldiers heading towards the other direction of the town, whereby the team led by Wonder Woman leaves to stop a second wave of Nazis, while Steve takes Barry back to the Justice Society's base, where he will learn about the team, whom he has never heard of before. In the village, Dinah, Jay, Rex, and Wonder Woman fight off the Nazi soldiers on the ground, all while Carter deals with soldiers flying fighter aircraft. After successfully fighting off the Nazi army, the team returns to their base. The same night, Barry Shakespeare, the Justice Society's war correspondent, concurrently Steve proposes to Wonder Woman in front of everyone. However, she refuses his proposal. Wonder Woman is trying hard to get it. A confused Barry questions the members about the whole scenario, and it turns out that Steve proposes to Wonder Woman almost every day, and gets rejected every time. Steve is whipped. The Justice League, including Barry, has a meeting where Wonder Woman expresses her disappointment in not being able to stop the war. But during the meeting, Dinah suggests using Barry to fight off the Nazi army, which Jay opposes because creating a time paradox will prevent Barry from returning to his own time period. Despite the risk of causing a time paradox, Wonder Woman agrees with Dinah because, to stop this unstoppable war, every metahuman needs to be utilized. Furthermore, Steve, who needs a codebreaker in order to decode a message, asks the team, including Barry, to break into a guarded castle in Bavaria in order to rescue a codebreaker. After arriving at the fortress, the heroes and Shakespeare sneak in. Moreover, they defeat the guards and discover several prisoners in the dungeons, some gone and some alive. Meanwhile, Shakespeare rescues a prisoner who gives him a parcel. Moreover, he also informs him that someone told him of his arrival, and implores him to prevent something from happening. Just then, a guard attacks Shakespeare, only for the bullets to bounce off of him. On the other hand, Dinah, Rex, and Carter track down the codebreaker, whom Carter recognizes as Dr. Fate. Back at the dungeons, Wonder Woman, alongside Barry and Steve, knocks off the guard. Moreover, Shakespeare identifies himself as Clark Kent. When Barry questions Clark about his parents, Clark reveals that he is an orphan and that his parents passed away in a car crash, and that the only reason he came with them was to write a cover story. And this is when Barry realizes that he has not been teleported into the past but is on a different Earth. A bewildered Barry then runs to Jay for more information. After locating Jay, Barry recognizes Fate and questions him about the truth. Dr. Fate confirms Flash's multiverse theory and even reveals some information about the League. He doesn't finish the sentence, but hints at the formation of the Justice League in Flash's universe. Meanwhile, he decodes the code with his powers and directs the team to the Bermuda Triangle before disappearing. The team, along with Steve and his crew, travels to the Bermuda Triangle through a submarine. The only choice they had was to use a submarine, because the sea was guarded by the Nazi army. In the submarine, they face many challenges, such as when armed boats floating above detects the submarine and throw bomb-filled gallons called depth charges, which causes water leakage in the engine room. Fortunately, Barry uses his powers to quickly fix the leaks. Moreover, depth charges knocks out their engines, but Barry and Jay build up the electricity through their hands to jumpstart the engine. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman heads out of the submarine to destroy the enemy ships. She carries the depth charges and throws them above the sea, causing the Nazi ships to be destroyed in the process. Additionally, she gets assisted by Atlantean soldiers, who direct them to a nearby outpost. A man named Advisor guides them to their king, called Aquaman. Upon meeting Aquaman, Wonder Woman asks him for his assistance in fighting off the Nazi army, to which Aquaman contently agrees. Aquaman tricks the team and imprisons them in a room. Furthermore, it is revealed that the code was a Nazi trap, and Aquaman is being controlled by the Advisor, who is influencing the Atlanteans to work with the Nazis in the hopes of destroying them later so he can take over the planet. Once they leave, Barry informs the member about his decline in powers. Moreover, he believes that it was because he ran faster than the light, but Jay explains to him the concept of Speed Force. According to Jay, all the speedsters gain their power from Speed Force. In this different universe, where there are two speedsters, Barry and Jay, the Speed Force gets divided, and therefore they both face a decline in their powers. So Jay asks Barry to put his hands on the floor, and both join forces to vibrate the molecules of a solid floor, which allows Barry to phase through the floor and break out. After breaking out, Barry returns to the room where everyone is imprisoned and destroys the magic, allowing everyone to escape. The team decides to split up, with one heading for New York to stop the Nazis and Atlanteans, while Barry and Wonder Woman tries to stop Aquaman and the Advisor from releasing monsters from the trench. Jay, Diana, Rex, and Carter and Steve, who are heading towards New York, saves the already imprisoned and tied crew member of the submarine and embark on the journey to New York. Meanwhile, Barry and Wonder Woman try to stop Aquaman and Advisor from releasing the monster, but they are unsuccessful, and Aquaman lets the monster out of the trench. Meanwhile, in Manhattan, an Atlantean force attacks the civilians, but luckily they are confronted by Diana, Jay, Rex, and Carter. The heroes gain the upper hand and successfully defeat the Atlantean forces. However, the peace is short-lived when trench monster controlled by Aquaman emerges from the sea and attacks the city. Additionally, Carter dies and Rex is severely injured while fighting off the monster. Jay and Diana successfully destroy the monsters while Wonder Woman and Barry arrive and fight Aquaman and the Advisor. During the long, heated battle and with the help of Trevor, she was able to break Aquaman's trident and frees him from the Advisor's control. Realizing what he has done, Aquaman retreats in guilt, but the Advisor reappears and reveals that a follow-up strike by Nazi bombers is imminent before eliminating Trevor from behind using Aquaman's broken weapon. Why did they eliminate him? On the brink of victory, Nazi bombers arrive in vast numbers to destroy the city. It is the moment when Dr. Fate's prediction and plan to bring Flash into the world come true. Superman finally appears in the sky and saves the day. Before returning to his Earth, Alan shares his goodbyes with the Justice Society, and Wonder Woman gives him a ring Trevor gave her as a reminder to never hold off for tomorrow. Barry runs faster than light again, and using the combined powers of Jay, he opens the portal again. Now back in his reality, Flash saves Superman from the kryptonite bullet, and after destroying Brainiac Barry suggests forming a team with Superman to combat future threats before returning to Iris and proposing to her, which she accepts.